Welcome, Cheryl Cooley, to Champagne and Conversations.
Yes,
Cheers
yes.
to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. Look, now you can sip. Yes.
Okay.
Cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited to have Miss Cheryl Cooley of Klymaxx with us this evening. And yes, we wanted to make sure we got everything perfect for her. So we welcome her to have champagne, to have an amazing conversation with us. We're so, so, so happy to have you, especially since she was one of my faves. The group was one of my
Oh,
faves as a little girl. And if you guys have heard my little girl stories, y'all know I love this grown music. So that's what it is. Cheers to that.
oh.
And what we came into was never underestimate the power of a woman.
Yep, that's
Yes, I
right.
love
Hey.
it. Welcome. Thank you so much for making time. You have been all over. When we talked first to coordinate, you were in New Orleans, and now you're getting ready for a big event coming up and all of that. So it's so, so nice to be able to have a conversation with you and
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
and
much. I'm
welcome you.
glad to be
So
here. I love your energy. I love the energy of the show.
yay! Yes, yes, yes. Now, first, guys, we're gonna start with talking about this merch because I'm jealous that she has on a Climax t-shirt. So before we go any further, the website to get the merch, if you guys want it, because I'm gonna cut mine up and have it hanging off the shoulder and all that good
Of
stuff.
course, yeah.
It's but well, please share the website and your social media. We'll start off with the business first, for sure.
Oh, okay, sure. No. Okay, our website is Klymaxx.com. That's Klymaxx.com. And all of our social medias there. We're on Facebook, Klymaxx Music, Twitter, no, Twitter is just Klymaxx. Instagram, Klymaxx Music. Just Klymaxx Music, you'll find us. The only one that's just Klymaxx is on Twitter. But it's right there on the website. I invite you, all of you, please go to the website and sign up to the newsletter. You'll be able to find out where we're going to be touring, if we're going to be in your city, all of that. There's a lot of great information there. The interviews, the music, where you can also purchase the music. We're on iTunes, of course, and all the big distributing media outlets. But please go to the website, check it out, check it out. The merchandise is there. We got hats, we got T-shirts, we got CDs, we got all kinds of good stuff on there. Great photos and videos, and you know what? You can even email me. My email address is on the website. I answer the fans if they send me an email. I have no problem in answering the fans and emails and all of that. So I
So
invite you to
dope.
please check out the website.
Yes, yes, so dope. And I will say I was reading some information about you all, and one of the writers credits Climax, of course, as the ultimate peak in kick-ass music. I think that's so dope because I might have labeled it something else, but you had to put one more X on those X's. We would have had to say it was something else, but it's okay. Gotta love it, you all. This you don't understand is 80s at its best. The group, all female band, first to come out.
Yeah.
Definitely were underestimated at one point for sure, but you all had your amazing breakthrough. You have worked with some awesome producers. And I want to ask you, what was your most memorable moment with Climax? I'm sure it's not just one, but do you have one that you can give us?
Well, okay, so on our second album, we were recording a song called Wild Girls.
Yeah, with Jimmy Jam and
And
Terry Lewis.
I was getting ready to say, with these two new producers, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and um, they, at the end of the song, or when the song was just about completed, they were like, we need something really to kick it off really well. So Cheryl, we need you to do a wild guitar solo. I was traumatized, like, you guys want me to play? This wild guitar. They said, yeah. I said, well, the only way I'm gonna do it is if you put me in the recording booth and turn out the lights so I know you're not looking at me.
Why? You didn't want them to know that you were
I
going to
don't
do
know. I
what?
was nervous, shy, whatever. I can make it wild. I just don't want you to see me.
How fun is that? How fun is that? And you had the amazing producers to start. I know you were getting ready to share that they were new at that point,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
just they were
yeah.
able to bring that energy out of you all. That was great.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, really, for me, I know each girl has their own story, but for me, they really gave me a shot of confidence in my playing. They believed in the way I was playing or my attack and all of that with the guitar. So, I mean, for my relationship with them, it was like graduating to the next step of my playing. They really helped
Nice.
me out a lot with that.
Nice. And yeah, and I mean, look where that was like the greatest. Yes. So you were on the right road for sure. Now,
Yeah.
as it relates to the guitar, how long have you been playing it?
Since I was 11 years old. So
Oh,
all my
wow.
life.
Okay. And what took you to guitar?
Well, my sister, well, let me say, my sister, who's 16 years older than I am, was
Hmm.
married to a jazz musician by the name of Hubert Laws,
Okay.
and he was on tour with the Jazz Crusaders, I think it was, or Mongo Santa Maria, and he happened to have his guitar at my parents' house because they were staying at my parents' house, and he's actually a professional flautist, but he happened to have a guitar. And for some reason, every other Christmas, my parents gave me a toy guitar. So I was all excited because he had a guitar and I had a guitar. And then so my sister all of a sudden said, "Hey, why don't we get Cheryl some guitar lessons?" So it was on and cracking after that. So I took guitar lessons and I studied in school. I got my degree in commercial music. I just went all the way. When I saw bands on TV, I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. I just knew that I knew that I knew that I knew that I knew that that's what I wanted to do when I grew up.
Yes. So now you were in a band prior to Climax, I'm assuming?
Well, yeah, actually, I played in various neighborhood bands, cover
Yeah.
bands, as they call it, club bands, all through school. And just learning the craft, learning music, learning how to work with a band. So I did play with quite a few different bands before I even met up with Climax. But actually, how we met was I was at a rehearsal with another band. And I mean, at that time, seeing a girl on guitar was a little different. So I saw these girls looking in the window of the door, pointing and looking as I'm rehearsing with another band, and they just busted in and said, "Hey, you don't want to play with this band? You want to play with our band? We have an all-female band called Klymaxx." And I thought, "Oh,
Okay. Okay.
But at that time, I had gotten my college degree in music and stuff, and you could just kind of feel sometimes, I don't think they're on my level. So when they invited me to the rehearsal, I didn't go.
Uh,
But then
why?
because I could tell they weren't at my level. But
Okay.
then I got the guilt, the little small voice in your head that
The
said, "Girl,
voice,
you should
girl,
have
you
went."
gotta go.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I called them before cell phones. I called them. I said, "Hey, sorry I didn't make the rehearsal. When's your next one?" And they were all excited. "Oh, tomorrow." And I thought,
Ba, ba,
okay,
ba,
I'll
ba,
be
ba.
there. And so, just as I thought when I got in their rehearsal and stuff, I could tell they hadn't been at the level that I was at. But they were having fun. They were having so much fun and playing around with the music and stuff. It just drew me in, and I stayed. And luckily enough, I started to write some music from the radio out for us to
Yeah.
play. That's when I discovered they couldn't read music. It's like I wrote all these charts out and everything and handed it to everybody, and they're kind of like, ah. And so to keep from embarrassing everybody, I said, "Hey, well, let me show you what I wrote, because maybe I wrote it wrong." I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." Nobody wanted to say they didn't know how to read music, and it
Right.
was okay. At that
Yeah.
time, we're all learning.
Learning. Uh-huh.
So we learned how to learn some cover tunes off of the radio and stuff like that. and we were able to actually do a talent show one night, and we had to use the house band's instruments, but they looked at us and said, "No, I know you girls can't play." I mean, we really had, sometime we had difficulty convincing people that girls can play.
Girls can,
So
right.
finally, the club owner decided, I'll give them a chance so we can have a laugh.
Yeah.
So,
Is that why you named the first album Never Underestimate? Is that
yes,
what? Yes. Okay. Okay.
because once we got up there and played, everybody was like, "Oh,
Oh.
wow."
Wow. Okay. Now they understand and you got
Yeah,
a little
sure.
respect.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now in terms of instruments, do you play the keys? Because I see they're behind you.
Well, I mean, getting a music degree, you have to know how to play keys, but I don't play them out in public.
Okay.
I play it
Do
for
you play
writing
the
purposes.
Chinese chopsticks like me?
I use it for writing purposes only. I'm not gonna go out and get that key. So
Okay.
guitar is my main only instrument that I play. I mean, I just enjoy playing it. I just
Absolutely. I enjoy
yeah.
listening to it.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now with writing, you wrote one of the best, if not the best, Men All Pause. Let me not even just try to go around that. I mean, it is what we like to call the anthem. So Men All Pause is one of the songs that you did write. Let's talk about you putting that together.
Well, one time at rehearsal, we had rehearsed so much, and one of the girls was having one of those, sweating moments or whatever. She's like, "Oh, I think I'm having a hot flash." But at that age, we hadn't experienced hot flashes. So somebody said, "Yeah, we should write a song about hot flashes." Like, how you gonna do that? What do you say? It's like, well, maybe we'll write something like when you go through menopause, and we still didn't know what that was gonna be like. And so I said,
Really?
"Hey, why don't we just say the men all pause?"
I
So,
like it.
a lot of the Climax records are about real life experience. So the
Okay.
Men All Pause is actually about, when we would go out, go to a club. There at that time there really was a club in Los Angeles called the Speakeasy. So we were just basically writing about our experience, and,
Sure.
and the music
Sure.
right along with it because it was a dance beat. So
Yes.
yeah, that's
It
how
was
that came
it was
about.
it was great. Just her whole like the intro to that. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah, yeah.
did that. And then the whole thing is just upbeat and the tempo is on fire. That is one of my favorite. I won't
Oh,
say it's
good.
my only favorite.
Yeah.
I Miss You is my other favorite. For sure.
Yeah.
And that was one of your best in terms of the album singles, yes?
Yeah, actually, it was the number three song of 1986 above all the songs that were released that year.
Listen at
So,
that.
again, a true
Congratulations
story.
to that. Cheers to you on that.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes. But again, it was a true life story,
Oh,
we
let's
always
talk
put
about
our
it. What was that
life.
story about? I
Well,
miss you.
it was about, kind of going through almost breakup, not breakup, not quite sure what we're doing, and you have to pack up and go on the road. So sometimes some things get unresolved because you're always traveling. So
Yeah.
it's basically about that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now give us a tour story since you talked about pack up and going on the road. I'm sure there's many, 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 but is there a tour story?
Uh, well, what I can think of is a stage story.
Okay.
Okay. So again, we're on stage, we're singing the I Miss You, we're in the moment. Some of us have our eyes closed, and we're just singing the song. And all of a sudden, the lead vocalist says, "Oh!" in the microphone, right? And so we kind of jolt to see what happened. And so she throws something down on the floor, and then all of a sudden, something else comes across on the stage and lands on her. And then she realizes is some guy had thrown his Fruit of the Loom underwear up.
Now we hear the women do it. I didn't know the men throwing Fruit of the Looms of all things. They were the white ones, the big ones with the elastic.
Yes, the tiny whiteys. And then, so he bought a brand new package of three because he showed us he had the package with the last one, and he just threw the package and everything up on stage.
I've never heard a man throwing their tidy whities. That is now that's a story for us. We have an exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. Cheryl, the
Oh,
men all pause.
yes.
She put that to all kinds of definitive use. Thank you so much. I've never heard that. So this is the best. This is the best.
Yeah.
Wow, men, you're throwing
Oh,
your Fruit of the Looms. And remember, they had the three little guys on them with the little thing. That
yes.
was the worst. He couldn't even get him some designer ones or something for this.
Oh, he probably got the
He
cheapest
did.
one. He's fine, you know. I'm gonna be giving these away. Let me get some cheap ones.
What what did she say when they hit her?
It was just like, oh, just like we were
I can't
shocked.
decide were they worn or were they new. I'm so glad he had
That's
this
why he was.
package.
No, that's why he was showing us the
The
package and the
package.
new one to show.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
You know,
goodness.
he
Oh
wasn't.
my gosh. Can you
It wasn't like
imagine?
he was disrespectful or anything. It was just like, oh, I just love your music.
That is hilarious. That is the best story. Okay,
uh,
I love it. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
So that was one of them. Now, who did you all tour with, if anyone, during that time?
Okay, so our very first tour, we toured with Midnight Star and Shalimar
And they were on your
because
label.
they were all on our label. Yeah, so the
Okay.
record company put that tour together. We learned so much. The everybody was very, protective and taught us about, how to survive on the road and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm really glad that we were able to have an in-house tour, basically is what they call it, so that we could be around people that were willing to teach us and protect us.
Sure. Yeah. And now they were same age or older?
No, we were all about the same age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They just had been out a little longer.
Right, yeah. Well, of course, Shalimar had, two
Yeah.
or three, hits by then. Midnight Star was really making a big impact with, songs like Freakazoid and No Parking on the Dance Floor. And then, of course, we're out there with Meeting in the Ladies' Room and The Men All Pause and I Miss You. So, it was a great
It
tour.
was fire. Now,
Yeah.
we're going to take a step back for a moment. And if you were not you and you were just me, what does that feel like to think about the fact that you were out with so many iconic people at that time? Like everyone's music was at the top of the charts. It was just the 80s was on fire with those type of ballads or pop songs. So, I mean, just how does that feel now looking back at that?
Um, First of all, it was a dream come true.
Yeah, yeah.
And not to sound egotistical, but I was expecting it because at a young age you don't know that you're not supposed to succeed. You haven't been hit by disappointment or not succeeding. I mean, I know it's kind of the same thing, but for me it was like stepping into a dream, the realization of that dream happening. um, I I wasn't surprised if that, but I was happy that it happened.
Yes.
Of course, it could have been that it didn't happen. Of course, anything could not happen because of one or two things. But I was so convinced, and I can't explain this enough for people to understand. When you have a vision, when you have a dream, you just have to believe without doubt. Yeah, they're going to be naysayers. They're going to be people who's going to, well, you got a crazy idea. You just have to feel it, know it, be convinced of it. Hold it in your heart, your spirit, your mind, that that I can't say that enough, that
No.
it's going to happen. And that's where I was from
Yeah.
beginning to end. Did I know who it was going to happen with? No, I didn't. I mean, I could even tell you that there was a dream I had, and probably when I first started playing guitar, and I wanted to be a star, of course. But I had this dream of being on stage, playing my guitar. The lights were going, the crowd was yelling, the music was going. It was just spectacular on the stage. And I remember getting ready, playing my guitar, getting ready to step up to the microphone and sing a note. And as I'm starting to sing, I remember looking over to my right to the band and thinking, That's odd. So now, I don't know, 15, 20 years after that, we're performing at the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, California. The lights are going, the music is going. You know, you talk about deja vu. I was like, oh my God, I've stepped into the dream. What was it I couldn't understand when I looked to my right? So I looked to my right, and what I saw was an all female band.
Dream is real.
Yeah,
Wow, wow. I love that. You gave us so many like great points in that one statement
yeah,
that you said, and just maintaining the dream and keeping the vision and
maintain it. Yeah,
believing it. Yes, because that's something that right now, with all the doom and gloom and that's happening, sometimes you lose that. You just get so inundated in today
yeah,
and just your circumstances or your surroundings for the
yeah,
moment. If
yeah,
you aren't really one to spiritually disconnect from that and then step
yeah,
above to understanding what is really there for you or what you desire,
yeah,
it's hard, for some people to really do that. Even if they woke up with dreams when they were little, by the time, like you say, 20 or 30, sometimes you get into reality, as they say, and you lose that. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? You just kind of breeze through it. And so all of those like wake up moments are important to say tap you, because even with what you said, you could have elected not to go with Klymaxx because you didn't feel that that was on your level
right,
at that moment, and
right,
then you might have missed your moment where
right,
in
sure,
essence you kind of had a uh-oh, let me call them back, let me not get ahead of myself, this is
right,
where I'm supposed to be, back it up, go to them, because that's where it's going, that's where that dream I showed you is where you're supposed to go. That's right. So good for you for even following that and being able to be one with yourself enough to understand that that was what you were supposed to do. And I think that you telling that story gives someone some hope, even myself, to know to just keep the dream alive. The dream is real. And just to
yeah,
keep that dream alive, because you hear it so much, it sounds like somebody just saying something. To keep the dream and keep dreaming, like, we just went through COVID. Do you know we just went? Do you know my business is slow? And
yeah,
people are like, I don't want to hear that. People are getting hurt, killed daily. um it's so many things going on that have your emotions like this all the
always,
time.
yeah,
And
always,
I will share with you that even with what we're doing today, this wasn't ever something that I could ever have forecasted, so to
yeah,
speak. Now, there's other things that I forecasted. If this is the route I have to take, then potentially it's that. But yes, I was led to getting on this thing and having conversations with icons, legends, artists, musicians, those folks that could deposit energy. So that same thing that you were feeling from us when we first started is what we're giving to one another, that law of attraction, exchanging of the energy. And it's so exciting to hear it, to know you guys have pioneered through so many decades and so many ups and downs, and being able to sit here and laugh and smile and still have your logo and still have your amazing conversations about the things that you've done and the people that you've worked with. That to me is so inspiring as well. So yes, flowers to you, congratulations to you. Yes, cheers to you. We did share some conversations behind the scenes, guys, on champagne. So she is enjoying her rosé. Well, at least I do believe Cheryl is enjoying it. Let me not speak for you.
on your
Yes.
recommendation, and thank you very much.
Yes, cheers. Enjoy it. You enjoy that because you deserve it. And so now, as you were talking about just the time that you envisioned and what you were doing and the time that you were doing that, was there ever moments where you wanted to work with another group and you just didn't get the opportunity to do it, or were you fine being with Climax?
I was fine with being with
Okay.
Klymaxx, because it
Okay.
was so unique,
Hmm.
and everybody identified me as being in the all-girl band. And let me just, kind of make a slight correction. I mean, Klymaxx wasn't the first all-female band, but it was the first and still the only R&B all-female band that has charted on Billboard. Now there's been a rock all female band, a pop all female. Matter of fact, the Go Go's were out the same time we were, but they were
Yes,
pop. But
they were
Climax
pop.
is still the only R&B all female band that has charted on Billboard, and just being part of that, part of that history making unit has been so gratifying and sad for me. And I really greatly appreciate all the support and the fans that still love to hear Climax music. They still love Climax music today. With all these many years later, a lot of times people say it's almost like the very first time I heard it, and even new fans, it's like, oh, I like that, something that they've never heard before. So I
Yeah,
mean, I'm grateful for them to still want to come out and support the
absolutely.
music. And as long as they show up, I'm gonna show up.
You're gonna
I mean,
show out.
yeah, that part too. That part too.
What's your favorite song to perform?
Well, I think men all pause because I do this wild guitar solo at the end of it. I just
Okay.
threw a guitar solo at the end to
Yeah,
end it.
yeah. Wait, did we already talk about this? How you had to do your first performance with the guitar in the solo? We talk about this on this side of the conversation or behind the scenes? Because
I
I
don't
want
think so.
everyone
No,
to
I don't
know.
think we talked about that yet. So, okay, so the first time I had to do a guitar solo on a record, on a recording, professional record, was on the song Wild Girls on our second album by these two new producers, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And so, they wrote the song and produced it. It was like, yeah, we need something really to top off this song. So, Cheryl, why don't you play a guitar solo? I'm terrorized. These guys want me to play a guitar solo. So I said, only on one condition, that I'm in the recording booth and the lights are out. I don't want you to see me. I
Like,
only
why
want
did the
you
lights have to be out,
I
girl?
only want you to hear me. I don't want you to see me. And so, of course, I'm thinking, oh, I got to stay in key. Of course, my theory training is starting to kick in. Like, you can't miss a note. You can't, So I've got all this judgment going on in my head. And they're
Mhm.
like, no, just play anything. We don't care if it's in key, out of key. Just go wild.
I love it.
So
I love
yeah,
it.
they put me in the booth and turned the lights out, hit record, and I listen to it today and I think,
Up
wow,
from there.
yeah,
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 yeah. It
wow,
was up from there. And just the fact that they being new, you being new, you
yeah,
all got together and
yeah,
created some amazing energy that took you up and out. They just gave you the freedom or the just, go, just the green light to go. And you didn't
yeah,
feel like you had to be put in a box or
yeah.
do it this way or make it sound like this. I think that's just amazing that I mean, I guess that's the fact that they're so successful at this point and so many decades later as well. They knew what to
Yeah,
do to
yeah.
unleash that. Musical influences growing up.
Oh gosh. Well, like I said, I was around a lot of jazz musicians growing up.
Yeah.
Because my sister being married to a jazz musician. Um, I like groups like Earth, Wind, and Fire because they had horns as well as guitar, bass, and drums.
Yeah.
Um, I liked groups like Confunction, Sly and the Family Stone. I mean,
Yes.
I really I have to agree when somebody said Sly and the Family Stone really is who moved music to funk, and that was what I really enjoy playing is funk music.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, all those kind of rhythmic songs, I really enjoy. I'm really not too much into like vocal artists, but more
Like the
into
music session.
bands. I'm
Uh-huh.
more into
Yeah,
bands.
band.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
I think that's the thing too, especially now because we've listened to the music for
yeah,
so long. So when they introduce, and I'm saying, if it's some sort of concert or some sort of activity, and they introduce it from a live perspective, it just gives it like a whole different embodiment. You can experience it different. I mean, obviously, you guys ad lib and you do your own thing, but I think it's just more like an experience when you can
yeah.
get in there and like you say go wild with your guitar. It's not like we're looking at sheet music so we don't know what you're doing, so you you could do whatever you want. We wouldn't say, oh, she missed the note. No, we don't know.
Well, but
It all sounds good.
yeah, but let me just say about the sheet music, because
Okay.
again, having a music degree, I do that. It has afforded me to be able to play with another iconic artist, Thelma Houston, and
Yes.
I am what they call her first chair guitarist. So when she goes out with a live band, I'm the first one to call to actually read her charts, and play the music for her. I mean, because I have that skill, it kind of gives me more avenues of income, really.
Yeah, and
So
being a
yeah,
feature. Yeah, I think
so
that's dope.
yeah.
First chair, first
Hmm.
guitar feature on any kind of set. I'm loving it. I'm gonna put that in the atmosphere. We're
Thank
gonna
you.
see what we can get going on here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, I think that's so dope, especially if you hit a few tunes in the midst of it all. That'd be great.
yeah,
Solos and such, that would be so great.
yeah.
Now what do you guys have coming up? I know that you've been working on some things, so what do you have coming up now?
Well, I mean, we have, we're always getting ready to go into the studio, but the pandemic has had the energies go all over the place. But we will be releasing some new material. But we actually have a couple of new songs, or current songs that we have on our website.
Okay.
One is called "For Woman," the number four and the word "woman," which is a women's anthem, kind of an affirmation of women's power. And then we
Okay.
have another song called "Love Me," which is kind of a sassy ballad, as Klymaxx is sassy. But anyway,
Sassy is nice. A nice way to put sassy. Okay.
so
Yeah, that works.
yeah, we do have some current couple of current tunes, and working on some other great things, but as well as out there performing live. Our next show is November 13th, in Bel Air, California. It's a dinner show, so you
Nice.
can come out and have a wonderful dinner and have some wonderful music. And we even have a comedian open up for us, Samson McCormick. He's going to be
Okay.
doing his comedy, and it's just going to be a great night. Food, music, the vibe is great there. It's going to be two shows, so if you're in the area, in the kind of Los Angeles County area, you just come on by and have some food and some music and some laughs.
Yes, that's nothing better.
Yeah,
Nothing better to be able to cut some of this stress and
yeah.
all of that. That sounds amazing. I'm jealous that I'm not on the West Coast, but we will catch you. We
Oh
will
yeah,
have
oh yeah.
time where we can catch you. And you've been doing a lot of traveling, so I
Yeah.
know that those shows will be amazing because as you traveled for so long. Now, you guys go out of the country?
No, we haven't gone out of the country yet. Mm.
Okay, all right. But even when you guys were active as a
Oh
group,
yeah,
okay, you did. And what was the best place that you had gone abroad, or
uh,
your most memorable time abroad?
well, at that time we enjoyed going to area in South Korea. I'm missing the city that we like going. I want to say, oh gosh, now it's been a while, so I forgot. But the one thing that we liked about South Korea was the shopping.
Of
That
course.
was our favorite
All
pastime.
females. Yes. We cannot leave out the female things. Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, at that time they had great shopping, and you could even tell the merchant what you wanted, describe what you want, and they would basically make it for you right there.
Oh,
It
nice.
was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
but
no.
we went to places like the Philippines. We went to a couple of places in England. We went to Amsterdam, Holland. I mean, wait a minute, Amsterdam. I think they're Amsterdam is Holland. Oops, I'm sorry. The Netherlands. The Netherlands. I'll cover it all. The Netherlands.
Good catch. No problem.
Yeah, but we went to a lot of great places. We even went to, even though it's not a foreign country, we even went to Guam. Guam is an island way out there, no
Hmm.
man's land. That's U.S. territory. And I mean, they embraced us with such great love. It was a great, great show. I mean, I dream of one day going back there and performing it. I mean, because it's just like in the middle of nowhere. It's just nothing but water. I think it's like 10 miles one way and 4 miles the other. It's not that
Okay.
big.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay. And you all
yeah.
had great turnouts at all
Oh
of these
yeah,
concerts? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure. And then, of course, being female, they were loving to come and be able to take that in as well
Oh,
and
sure.
say, just
Yeah.
from the liberating part of it all, it's all
Yeah.
ladies. So,
Yeah.
yes, such a
Yeah.
motivating conversation for sure. And we look forward to all of the new music that you guys have coming out. Much success on the road and your new projects that are coming. We're going to keep watching. Everyone that you want to go and get merch, you can certainly go to Klymaxx.com for the merch. And Miss Cheryl Cooley said you can hit her up on the DM, so you can slide her the DM if you
Yeah.
want, and she'll hit you back.
Yeah.
Which I think is certainly cool as well because it's been amazing to connect with you. And she called me, she was traveling, but she was talking and traveling too. So definitely so much of an honor to sit and talk with you today on Champagne and Conversations about your career and getting some gems and sipping some champagne with you for sure. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Cheryl Cooley of Klymaxx, we so appreciate you. We give you love, we give you hugs, we give you flowers. And when you get closer, we'll have you live if we can.
Okay.
Um, for
Yeah.
sure. So
Yeah.
definitely. Anything else you want to say before we leave today?
I just want to thank you and your listeners for just listening to my story,
Yeah.
listening to my life path. I appreciate, the people that just, like interested, like, wow,
Yeah.
that really is great for me. I appreciate it. Just thank you for letting me be here on your show. Thank you. You
Absolutely.
trying to
And
make
we'll have
a
you
sister
back.
cry. Hold on now. Hold on.
Yay! Yes, thank you so much. Cheers to you. Yes,
Cheers.
yes, yes. She thinks she has to be on cue. She doesn't know she can do whatever she wants to do, guys.
I know. Hey, if it wasn't for you, I'm telling you, I'd be like, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, Cheryl Cooley of Klymaxx, thank you so much. Hang with us just a second and we'll take you out.